What a difference a week makes. After the uproar we told you about last week involving the Trump administration's border-related construction in Big Bend National Park, the Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Rodney Scott, halted all work temporarily. Video showing contractors using bulldozers angered local residents, Democrats, and a few Republicans. The CBP previously said it is not building a 30-foot border wall or installing stadium lighting in the park, and instead was building a new road, improving existing roads in the park, adding technology, and building some vehicle barriers. Last week, Governor Abbott took credit for the administration's pause on construction, saying he spoke with the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin, a former Republican senator from Oklahoma. The CBP commissioner met with a variety of local elected leaders from Big Bend, among them Terrell County Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland, a Republican who used to patrol this area and who previously worked for the commissioner. I asked him what the commissioner committed to.
Rodney committed to working with the local leaders within Brewster County, within that state park and national park, on what they would like to see done. Again, he wants to make sure the border's secure. We know border security use of technology works. I use it out here in my county on a daily basis, work with Border Patrol on a daily basis. And of course, I spent 26 years with U.S. Border Patrol, and I've worked out in this sector for half of my career, out in Sierra Blanca, which is the furthest west station, in Alpine, which encompasses Big Bend National Park, and of course my hometown of Sanderson for the last 11 years of my career. But he committed to working with those community leaders who will get information from whether it's business owners, landowners, as well as other constituents in that county, and willing to hear. So Sheriff Dotson, Sheriff Hennington will work with those local stakeholders, work with CBP in that area, and then Commissioner Scott will review the plan and come up with either the thumbs up or thumbs down.
He had already said that they're not putting in a 30-foot wall. They're not putting in lighting, right? Stadium lighting, some people have compared that to, right? So that's off the table, right?
It is, Jack. And we were told early on, and again, the way this whole thing came about, Kristi Noem, when she was still the Secretary of Homeland Security, she actually circumvented Rodney with these plans. He had no idea. And again, we've had a friendship and constant communication throughout our careers. She wanted to build that 30-foot barrier from one end of the sector all the way down to Lake Amstead. He curtailed that quite a bit. I still don't think it was enough. We're still looking at some areas outside the parks with a 30-foot barrier, and then down here towards my county of Terrell, with some vehicle barriers. And I'll tell you that there's not a spot in my county that you can cross a vehicle because of the God-made barriers, the cliffs and the walls of the Rio Grande River.
So going back to Big Bend National Park for a second, because that's where
Yes.
all this angst that we've seen over the bulldozers, right?
Yes.
So is what they initially said is they were going to put in a new road in there, and they would improve existing roads and then some of these vehicle barriers. Has that changed?
So we haven't got the final word that it's changed, but I'll tell you, Sheriff Dotson spoke to that very well. Judge Hennington of Brewster County brought a map that showed many roads that were going to be created were very close in proximity to existing roads. And when that was articulated to Commissioner Scott, he took that as, well, yes, we will definitely look at that. I'm confident that we will see some of those plans change as far as upgrading the existing roads, because not only is that good for the Park Service, for law enforcement, even for those that come to visit the national park, because some of those roads during the rainy season, the monsoon season, become impassable, and the roads they will construct will be all-weather roads. They're also planning to bury a fiber optic line under those roads that will detect whether it's a car that has crossed the border or somebody walking across the road that may be here illegally. So again, he's committed to exploring those roads, making sure they're not duplicating or just creating a new road that really won't serve any purpose. And I can tell you, there's plenty of roads throughout the park that we've used as Border Patrol agents that give us access to those areas. And I've got to mention, Jack, that Mighty Skull Mountain Road that we saw planned going over the mountain. There's a road just north of that, which Commissioner Scott acknowledged and said, no, something like that definitely makes sense. We're going to look at it and we're going to make this plan better. So again, we have that commitment.
What about the state park? Is the federal government able to go into the state park?
they've committed to the state park the same they have to the national park. So again, I'm confident, and we'll take Commissioner Scott at his word.
Some groups have filed lawsuits and emergency injunctions to keep the government from doing construction projects in the national park.